Really quickly, guys, before we dive into today's topic, I just want to let you know about what's coming up for us this week in the Goddess Project. We have a live ceremony happening on the 25th. We're going to be doing a bit of herbal alchemy, and the topic I've chosen for this ceremony is prosperity and abundance, because I know that's an energy that almost everyone can use a little more enlarging in, a little more magnetism in, a little more tuning into of their being to get that flow of abundance, get that flow of prosperity, and to be able to hold the energy of abundance in their life. So we're going to be creating a herbal elixir for abundance. We're going to be using the herbs of the sun for vitality, for personal success, for just that brightness, brightening up our aura, magnetizing our being, so we're drawing opportunities. We're going to be using the herbs of Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, growth, multiplication, making things bigger, making things grow and be abundant. We're going to be using the herbs of Mars, which is the planet that gives you that drive, that push through. It's that war planet that gives you that I'm going to achieve this no matter what energy. Gives you that consistency, that stick-to-itiveness, and that push. We're going to be also using the herbs of Mercury, and the herbs of Mercury talk about communication, being able to effectively communicate your thoughts, being able to effectively communicate yourself on social media, in your marketing, at your job, just being able to get out the ideas in a way that other people can receive it. So you guys who are into marketing, maybe you're an influencer, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you have to market your products, the herbs of Mercury will help to align your energy so that these things flow easily for you. And lastly, the herbs of Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that governs organization, structure, those structures in your business, those systems that you need for success. If you're having issues building systems into your business, sticking to schedules, organizing your business, organizing your life, organizing anything, that structural energy, the herbs of Saturn will bring that into your energetic being. So we're going to be using all of these herbs that correspond with these planets to create an energetic mixture that pulls out the essence of the herbs in the physical realms, but also pulls on the astrological energy of those herbs. So we're going to be doing a bit of alchemy, really pulling out the essence, really connecting to the energy and creating a mixture that is primed with that energy. And so we're going to create the mixture on that day in the live ceremony, and then it's going to steep for 3 days in a container before you can actually use it. So it's going to be super powerful, because elixirs are one of the most effective alchemical ways to change your energetic makeup, because in the same way that you supplement the nutrients that is deficient in your body with vitamins, you can supplement the energies that you are missing in your energetic makeup. You can supplement them with energies from nature. So if you are an entrepreneur and you struggle with organization, you struggle with systems, you can supplement that lack of organizational and structural energy in your being by taking herbs that have that energy. And so ingesting those herbs in an elixir will start to infuse your energetic makeup with that structural energy. It starts to alchemically shift your energetic being and allow that energy to sit in your being. So I hope to see you there. If you're a part of the Goddess Project, this is already included in your package. If you're not a part of the Goddess Project and you want to attend, we have tickets available for you guys. I will have a link in the description below. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of the Goddess Project. I'm so excited to be making this video and to spend this energetic time with you, to share this energetic space with you. Y'all, you like my owl? I picked up painting this year. It's been on my soul for a while, and Spirit said to me, Akil, you are not indulging in the hobbies. You're not indulging in the other things in life that you're good at that feed your soul. Pick up a hobby. I don't know who that's gonna help, but I'm sure it's gonna help someone. So I enrolled in a course and I started painting, and this is my first, let me bring it forward. This is my first oil painting,
y'all. Do you love him or you love him?
My first oil painting and my second painting in life as an adult. I'm really proud of myself.
As you can probably tell.
Let me see. Is he? Yeah, there he is. I think that might be also a message for somebody else out there, because it literally came up in my mind immediately. Somebody out there needs to indulge themselves in the joys of life. You've been too serious. You're focusing too much. And it's a weird message because you're always hearing people like, focus, focus, go, go, go. But this message is about the paradox of enjoyment bringing in the ability for you to focus. The paradox of letting go and releasing control actually giving you control. There's something here about releasing so that energy can flow in the direction you really want it to flow. So somebody got a message already, and I have my crystals here with me. This, they call it the bumblebee. It's very good for creativity. And this energy, this crystal, can you feel the energy of this crystal? Focus on it. Look at it, focus on it, tune in. What do you feel from it? You can even pause this video and take a moment and just look and focus. This has such clean, focused channeling energy. Very powerful energy. I love to have it around when I'm going to be doing any sort of energy work, and all of my videos are energy work. Are energy sessions, I should say, because one of the things that unlocked for me recently is the ability to heal through my voice, through opening up the portal of the chakra that's located here at the voice and allowing cosmic energy to flow on the sound of my voice to help to heal and to soothe and to bring forth things you need to know and things you need to see. So y'all, it is setting up to rain outside. I hope I can get this video through before the rain because it becomes very noisy. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna light my little candle. Y'all know I love to have fire near me when I'm doing anything. And I got a cute little clamshell today. And as usual, I am going to pull my fan out the fire. That's so disrespectful. Oh no, guys, my fan is too high, and I can't afford to not have my fan because it's hot. But anyway, as usual, let me pull a card for you, and let's invite your spirit guides into this space. Just kind of, you might want to close your eyes to tune in, or just tune in with your mind. I invite my spirit guides to come into this space and to help me to channel the messages that this person needs to send right now. Help me to tune into the energetic spaces. Help me to tune into the messages and to deliver the messages as cleanly and as clearly as they come. I invite this person who's watching, their spirit guides, to descend into their space right now in a powerful, tangible way and allow them to hear the messages in a way that they haven't heard before. So today we're talking about regulating your nervous system, but here are your messages for the week. Wow. So instantly the King of Cups fell out, along with the Ace of Pentacles. Someone is learning to manage their emotions. That's crazy in regards to what we're talking about today, because today we're talking about regulating the nervous system. Thank you, Spirit. And this is directly tied to that message. The King of Cups talks about someone who has had some form of mastery. When you're at the king level, you've mastered something. You've reached to the top. And the cups in tarot represents the emotional realms, the emotions that make up your being. Mastery of the emotions that are kind of overwhelming some of you right now is going to bring you a blessing. Pentacles in tarot talks about earthly blessings. It talks about wealth. It talks about money. It talks about the things you've been desiring. I hope you're not burning my plant. No, you're not. It talks about the things you've been desiring. It's like something, if you notice, those hands are coming out of nowhere. There's no body attached to it. So it's almost like it isn't someone giving you something. It's you materializing based on the work you're doing on yourself, based on the alchemy that you're weaving. You are calling in, materializing opportunities. You are materializing, I'm hearing, your portion in life. Some of you have not been dealt your portion in life. Every human being has a portion of blessings, of wealth, of love. Some of you, your portion has been blocked. And you know this because you're like, I do good by people, I work hard, yet the blessings aren't flowing, because subconsciously you know you're not getting your portion. And you're not getting your portion because you're blocking it with unruly emotions, an unruly state of being. And Spirit is saying it's not a punishment, this blocking of the blessings because of your unruly state of being. It's just the growing pains in life for you to understand the changes you need to make as a person, as a being, because your emotion is about your energetic makeup. So the changes you need to make in your energetic makeup to be able to hold the blessing that you desire. And I said this in my last video, a lot of you desire things that you simply cannot handle at this moment. You desire a level of wealth that you cannot support, that your energetic makeup cannot hold. That level of wealth will crush you like a bug. You ever see people get rich suddenly and go crazy? Suddenly they turn into this narcissistic person. Suddenly they turn into this selfish person, or their ego gets huge and no one can manage it. It's because they've unlocked something somehow that they cannot yet manage. And Spirit is saying, in order for you to handle this thing that you desire safely, you have to do some alchemy. You have to do some mastery. You have to build up the muscles to hold this blessing safely. So that's your message for this week. Focus on your emotional mastery. And that segues beautifully into our topic for today, because one of the ways to master your emotions, one of the ways to alchemize your energetic makeup so that you can hold the things that you desire, is to regulate your nervous system. And in the Goddess Project this coming week, that is what we're focusing on. We've already started some practices in week 1, but I haven't introduced them as nervous system regulating practices. We've just been doing them. And this is a part of the value of the Goddess Project. There's so many things in spirituality and in life that our practices address, because the thing about life is we like to look at it as compartmentalized when it isn't. Your physical affects your spiritual affects your physical, your mental affects both areas, and both areas affects your mental. You have a trifecta of a being. You have your mind, your body, and your spirit. And what happens with most of us are very good at one of these things and we neglect the rest. And so the issues that come about in our life is as a result of the neglect of the 2 other pillars, or the other pillar that we're not paying attention to. Once you learn to harmonize these aspects, the mind, the body, the spirit, once you learn to harmonize these pillars in life, you have won. And so if you're in the spiritual community, or you're on TikTok, wellness community, or wellness TikTok, you would have come across a lot of videos talking about regulating the nervous system. And let's talk a bit about why that is so popular right now, why so many people are talking about this topic right now, and actually how it also relates to spirituality and unblocking your gifts and tuning into the spiritual realms. Because again, these things, they are all connected. You are a whole being, and so everything affects everywhere else. And the faster you learn that, is the further you will go on your path and achieving your goals and achieving your desires. So the nervous system is a major controlling, regulatory, and communication system in the body. It is the center of all the mental activities, such as thoughts, learning, memory, and is also responsible for maintaining homeostasis in the body, which is also very important because a lot of our illnesses have mental roots attached to them, but our modern day medical system doesn't tell us about that factor. And so you're going to learn a lot today about the mental, the spiritual, but also the physical aspects that the nervous system has a lot to do with controlling. So this system literally touches every aspect of our everyday lives. And it's a system that we need to understand how it affects us and understand then how we can regulate it to balance any issues we're having and to help us in life in general. So the first area that the nervous system regulates and affects that's really impactful on our everyday life is our emotional state. Y'all, the nervous system helps us or is responsible for emotional regulation. So what that means is if your nervous system is not regulated itself, if your nervous system is out of whack, meaning you're in fight or flight, meaning your nervous system is not balanced, what that shows up as in our life is really bad emotional regulation. So if you are very irritable all the time, if the smallest things can set you off, and when I say set you off, it doesn't mean that you get angry, but a lot of things trouble you, a lot of things affect you. You're highly sensitive to a lot of things in life, whether it's light, whether it's noise, whether it's the presence of other people. And this is one of the things that I noticed personally that led me to understand that my nervous system was unregulated. I was very irritable to a lot of things, more than what I would deem normal. So irritability, then there's also the way you react to things, and it can show up as overreacting to things. When something happens, you react, and then when you kind of calm down, you say to yourself, damn, I really didn't need to react in this way. It really wasn't that big of a deal. However, in that moment, it seemed like a big deal. Now I can look back and say, that wasn't the way I should have reacted. It can also show up as underreaction when really messed up things happen to you and you underreact and you look back, or somebody has to point out to you that, hey, that was a big deal. You know, this thing happened to you and you're acting as if everything is fine. That's actually not okay. So underreaction is also a pointer of bad emotional regulation and a dysregulated nervous system. If you have a habit of ignoring red flags, ignoring really obvious signs that something is wrong when you're dating, if you continuously date the same person over and over with a different face, with a different body, but it's the same issues over and over, that's a sign that there's something happening with your regulation and your ability to identify another person's issues as well as identifying your own issues. And that kind of goes to the overreaction versus underreaction. There's something there that's not regulated well. There's something there that's affecting your ability to make proper decisions when it comes to another person's behavior, when it comes to how you're feeling in someone's presence, or how you're feeling when someone else behaves a certain way. That nervous system regulation, dysregulation, causes you to have issues with identifying red flags and taking actions when you've identified red flags. Then there is just straight up love. A dysregulated nervous system never feels safe enough to be in a healthy, loving relationship. A dysregulated nervous system never feels good enough for the right person. A dysregulated nervous system feels at home in a dysfunctional relationship. And so if you find that kind of connecting to the last point, if you find that you can identify this person is a really good person, but for some reason you are never attracted to the good person. You're never You're never attracted to the healthy person, the healthy option. You're finding yourself always attracted to the choice that you can tell is going to be some bullshit. That's a sign of a dysregulated nervous system at home in dysfunction. Repelling balanced, healthy relationships, balance healthy connections. And that can also apply to friendships. Always being at home or making friends with people who take advantage of you. Always feeling at home with people who you know just aren't good for your life. Are you seeing the importance of a regulated nervous system? And this is just one area, emotional regulation. Let's go to the next area that the nervous system regulates. Cognitive function. Y'all, a dysregulated nervous system will cause memory issues. A dysregulated nervous system will cause brain fog, the inability to think clearly, the inability to make healthy decisions, the inability to make proper decisions in your business, in your love life, in your friendships, just this mental fog when it comes to making the right choice. A dysregulated nervous system will have you sitting in life unsure which direction you want to go in, unsure who you want to be, unsure where you want to be. You're just unsure about everything in life. This is the sign of a dysregulated nervous system. And here's why. Because a dysregulated nervous system tends to be one in fight or flight. It tends to be a state of survival. And when you are in survival mode, you cannot think clearly. You cannot make clear decisions when you're in survival mode. The most important thing for you to do is survive. And so your brain function cannot process long-term goals. It cannot process the fact that you need to put away money for a rainy day. It cannot process the fact that you probably need to put some money into a 401k. It can't process the fact that you need to make preparations for 10 years down the road, 5 years down the road, because it's literally just trying to get by today. And so your cognitive functions are impaired, your long-term decision-making skills are impaired, your money is impaired because you can't think long-term, you can't save, you can't invest, you're just living day to day. And the thing about it is, even if you have enough money coming in, you'll realize when your nervous system is not regulated, you're not able to save even though you have enough money coming in. You'll realize that you impulse spend, your money is literally pouring out of your hands, because your nervous system is not regulated. And so your business is not growing in the way that you know it can grow. Why? Because you're not making the decisions you need to make in order to bring it to that place. You're not taking the actions that you need to bring it in that place. Why? Because you're in a mental fog of this dysregulated nervous system. Your career is not growing. Why? Because you can't see the steps that you need to take to actually get there. You just know that you desire it, but for some reason, no matter what you do, you're not able to walk the path that's actually taking you higher in your career. You're watching people less qualified than you pass you up. You're watching people less passionate than you stepping up. You're watching people step up in front of you and above you, even though you know you can do a much better job than all these people that are passing you over. Dysregulated nervous system. And there's so many other areas that this nervous system touches. The last one I'm going to just bring up right now is stress resilience. When your nervous system is dysregulated, the necessary stresses in your life become overwhelming. And what are necessary stresses? You work a 9 to 5, let's say, to survive in life. There are stresses that comes with a job that you cannot get around. And when your nervous system is not regulated, those stresses overwhelm you. They're so overwhelming that even when you're not on the job, you're stressed out at home laying in your bed because of the stresses of the job. That's a sign of a dysregulated nervous system. You cannot rest in peace because the stress of the other things in your life, there's no compartment. You're not able to regulate and keep that over there. You're not able to regulate and keep your mental space clear when you don't have to be stressing. Everything is overwhelming. Your business, all the things that you have to do in your business, overwhelming. It seems almost impossible, and you're looking at other people on social media and you're saying, how does she do this so easily? How can she do all this work and not be breaking out, not be mentally distressed, not be like, how does she find time to go jog? How does she find time to travel? How does she find time for her 3 kids? Yet I have none and I'm stressed out. I'm overwhelmed. That's the sign of a dysregulated nervous system. You're not able to regulate, compartmentalize, and keep things where they need to be and be in the present moment when you have the ability to. You're not able to regulate your life, regulate your emotions, regulate your cognitive functions, and regulate stress. And so this is the importance of regulating your nervous system. And this is why in the Goddess Project, our daily practices have a lot of practices, a lot of wellness practices that regulate your nervous system as well as the other benefits, because it is all tied together. So before we go into how to regulate your nervous system, because I'm going to leave you with actions to take to start regulating your nervous system today, the last thing I want to bring up is how your nervous system impacts your physical health. Because these are not just mental and emotional issues that you face when your nervous system is dysregulated. There are physical implications as well. The number one issue that people with dysregulated nervous systems have is digestion issues, stomach issues, irritable bowel syndrome, liver issues, constipation, anything to do with digestion and the movement, the flow of nutrients, I would say, ingesting food, it flowing through your body, it removing the waste and the rest of the nutrients getting into your body. A dysregulated nervous system has that system in havoc. So anything to do with digestion, when you have all these other symptoms, the emotional symptoms, the cognitive symptoms, and the stress symptoms, is a surefire sign that your nervous system is dysregulated. And if you do not regulate your nervous system, what you find is most people develop chronic illnesses. Chronic lifestyle illnesses such as diabetes or such as high blood pressure. These illnesses start to come upon you because the nervous system is throwing your other bodily functions out of whack. It's throwing your circulatory system out of whack. It's throwing your insulin, the metabolism of sugar out of whack. It's throwing all of the other things out of whack. Why? Because your nervous system is regulating homeostasis. It's regulating the balance in the body. It's regulating all the systems that regulate the other things in your body. So if this nervous system, if this central system is not okay, your whole body is not okay. Your whole being is not okay. Your whole mental scape is not okay. Super important, right? And so I've gone through the mental, I've gone through the body. I also want to go to the spiritual effects of a dysregulated nervous system. Because here's the thing. Your ability to tune into the energetic realms is directly dependent upon your ability to tune out the loudness of the physical, calm the physical down, tune it out, and go deep into the quiet solitude, the barely there whisper of the spiritual. And so to tune into something that is so soft, so quiet, really barely there, you have to be able to lift up your mental anchors from the physical realm and tune into this other realm. But here is the thing. If your nervous system is dysregulated, which means you are in survival mode, that weight of survival mode is an anchor pulling you and anchoring you into the physical. And to put that into practical terms, if your body feels like you barely have enough money to keep a roof over your head, you barely have enough money to buy food to eat and keep yourself alive, how the heck am I supposed to calm down and go into stillness and release my worries and release myself from the physical and go into the spiritual? There's no way. That's not going to work. Your mind is telling you, oh my God, you got to go work on this business because you don't have enough money. Oh my God, you have to go and do this tomorrow at work so that you can show your boss that you're worthy of a promotion. Oh my gosh, if I don't get an extra $1,000 this month, I'm going to be late on my rent, then I'm not going to have anywhere to live, then I'm not going to... There is this constant stream of, your body is shaking, your energy is shaking, everything's trying to tell you, oh my God, you have to do this, you have to do... The physical is yelling at you when you're dysregulated. And so a lot of people ask, oh, I'm doing these activities that you do, or I'm doing these activities that I see other people do that work for them to tune into the spiritual realms, that work for them to astral travel, that work for them to lucid dream, that work for them to unblock their gifts, but nothing is happening for me. A lot of times it's because you are deeply anchored into the physical, because your nervous system is dysregulated, and because your life is putting you into a state of survival. And the crazy thing about this state is you're kind of stuck in a little loop when you have this state. Once you drop into this loop, it's very hard to get out of unless you have a video like this or content that talks about this stuff that shows you the loop you're in so that you can break that cycle. If you're not aware of the cycle, you will just circulate in the cycle for 10 years, 20 years, never really getting ahead, never really getting out, never really achieving your dreams, just sitting in a cycle of mediocrity and dysregulation. And so let me show you the cycle and then show you how to break out of the cycle. So you are probably in this dysregulated state because there are things in your life that have put you into survival mode. Maybe you're not making enough money. Maybe you've only had terrible relationships and been reflected terrible partners. Maybe you've not been doing well at your job. Maybe you need to move up in order to support yourself, but there's nothing happening. You're feeling stagnant in that job. Maybe there's a barrage of things, that's physical things in life, that's keeping you in this state of dysregulation. So you're dysregulated. There are things in your life that's causing more dysregulation, and so you get more dysregulated, and then you make more decisions and take more actions from a dysregulated place that creates more dysregulated reflections in your actual life that then cause you to be even more dysregulated. Then you take more actions, more decisions, more thinking from a dysregulated place that propagates more dysregulated reflections in your life that then makes you... Do you see the cycle? So you're in a vicious cycle of dysregulation, and the only way for you to break this cycle is to do the hard work of taking different actions to regulate your nervous system, even though you're getting this feedback from your real physical life that's saying, hey, we're in survival. You have to muster the strength, muster the courage to regulate your nervous system regardless of seeing the things that are making you dysregulated. Does that make sense? You have to kind of close your eyes to the things that are telling you you are in survival and regulate your internal system, and then once you've regulated your internal system, you will start to make decisions from a regulated place, which would then lead to actions from a regulated place, which would then lead to reflections in your physical life that differ from the reflections that you used to get. And so once you start to take actions from a regulated place, you start to see results that match regulated actions, and you start to get that feedback from your life of regulation. And then you'll be like, oh my goodness, I'm seeing a difference in my life. I'm seeing my business start to change. Why? Because I've started to take different actions. Why? Because I started to think differently. Why? Because my system is regulated enough for me to identify the actions that I need to take to have a switch in my business status. I've started to take different actions in my love life. I've started to make different decisions. I've started to value... Sorry, my dog is trying to come inside. Give me a second, guys. You okay? Okay, good. So you start to see a change in your love life, in your relationships. Why? Because you are now in a place where you are thinking from a regulated system. You are making decisions from a regulated system. You're taking actions from a regulated system. So now that you are taking actions from a different place, you're taking different actions, you are perceiving people in a different way, you're perceiving people's behaviors in a different way, so you're responding in a different way, you're moving in a different way, you're going to start to see change in your love life. You're going to start to see change in your connections, because what you have been doing before is doing the same thing over and over and wondering why nothing is changing. Nothing is changing because you have not changed your actions, you have not changed your thinking, you have not changed your perceptions. And so this is the power of regulating your nervous system. This is literally a tool. This is a place, a state of being from which you can actually change your life. Because if you do not change your inside, if you do not change your mental space, if you do not change your emotional space, you will not see any changes on the outside. That's just facts. If you're always the same person you've always been, you will always get the same results you've always had. And so how do we regulate this system? How do we actually do this work? First of all, I want to make it clear. This is not a process that you do one thing and it's changed. And you do one thing and you're like, oh, it's regulated now, everything is different. No. This is something that you have to choose to do every day. This is something you have to make a practice of. And this is why in the Goddess Project, we really focus on building a daily practice, because the only way to change your life is to change your daily habits. Your current habits have yielded the life you currently have. And so if you look around your life right now and you're like, this is great, but X, Y, and Z needs to change. X, Y, and Z is where I'm trying to go. Then you have to then look at your habits that brought you here and figure out, what new habits do I need to bring in to bring me there? Or what old habits do I need to change to release myself from this reality and bring myself to the desired reality? Number one, very easy activity that you can incorporate into your daily life, breathwork. Breathwork is one of the most effective tools I've found out there, and a lot of other people have found, to regulate the nervous system without medical intervention. And this is something you can do at home, because the breath literally controls life. What happens if you stop breathing for too long? You disappear off this earth, right? And so if you're able to tune into your breath, if you're able to regulate your breathing, it will calm your systems down, bring you back to a state of balance, which is what you want. That's that regulation of your systems, bringing you back down and bringing you into a neutral state. And so if you curate a practice where every morning you do a bit of breath work, you will be surprised to see the effects it has on your day. And no, it doesn't have to be anything extreme. There are literally so many videos on YouTube. You can do 10-minute morning breath works. You can do 15-minute morning breath works. There are specific breath work sessions to regulate your nervous system if you want to really dial into that aspect. But even any sort of breath work that you do will regulate your nervous system, because it really tunes you into your body. It really tunes you into your breath. It brings you from here, oh, what's going on in the world? What do I need to do? What's happening with my kids? What's happening with my... It brings you here into your breath. One of the only things in this life that actually matters. And that might sound a little weird to say, but think about it. No matter what family you have, no matter how many kids you have, no matter what your business is doing, if you cannot breathe, everything else falls away. That's the importance of breath. So breathwork is super powerful. Try it for the next 7 days. Go on YouTube. I normally use breathwork with Sandy. He's such a lovely, balanced man. I don't know him personally. I just look at his energy and I can feel it. I'm like, oh yes. I use his breathwork sessions personally. I've put them in the Goddess Project community as well to help the ladies there integrate it into their practice and regulate their nervous system. It will really, really, really balance your systems. And here's the thing, because a lot of people will start this and stop because of their dysregulated nervous system, because the dysregulated nervous system tells them, oh, you just did that and you don't feel no big change, you don't feel no huge difference, so why are you doing it? And that's the thing. The dysregulated nervous system wants you to seek after huge big things that make you feel because the nervous system in that state pushes you to extremes. Like you must feel some big thing for changes to happen, or you must feel really low for something to be wrong. It doesn't register the in-betweens. That's one of the hallmarks of a dysregulated nervous system. The only way you feel things is in extremes. You're either really angry or just really calm. You're either really emotional or you're absolutely numb. You're always in this pendulum swing between extremes. And so your dysregulated nervous system will start to tell you to not do these things because you're not feeling anything. It's working. If you're not feeling anything with breath work, it's balancing you out. And I know that's very counterintuitive because the regular world tells you if you're not feeling something, it's because it's not working. The fact is, most of the world is in dysregulation. Most of the world's markers are made by people who are dysregulated themselves, and then they put this marker of dysregulation as a mark of success or a marker that you want. And in fact, they then encourage people to dysregulate their nervous system to be seen as successful, to be seen as making progress. This is the problem with the world we are living in today. The next thing that really regulates your system, and y'all heard me talking about this all the time, walking out in nature. Hot girl walks, a nature walk, a 1 mile walk in the evenings or in the mornings if that's when you have time, will regulate your system. Nature has the innate built-in ability to regulate your nervous system. People forget we are a part of nature. Nature isn't over there and then human beings are over here. We are a part of nature. And so modern day society has removed us from nature. And the further away from nature we get is the more effed up we get as a society. The further away from nature we are pulled in our everyday living is the more we develop mental issues, is the more we develop physical health issues. The further away we get from nature is the more dysregulated we get on all levels. Go out and stand on the ground with your bare feet. That will regulate you. Every day go stand on the ground in your bare feet. If you can't do that every day, go for a walk in nature, somewhere where there are trees, somewhere where there are birds chirping. Did you know that even the sound of birds chirping regulates your nervous system? Even the sound of insects, the sound of nature regulates your system. The sound of a stream flowing, the sound of the waves crashing regulates your system. Why? Because we are a part of the system of nature. We need these things to be balanced. And so I always preach getting out in nature. Make it a habit. Every week you're gonna do 3 walks in nature. You will see how much that impacts your mental health. You will see how much that impacts your physical health. You will see how much that impacts your spiritual gifts. And last thing, my battery's almost dead. And last thing that really, really helps to regulate your nervous system is low impact exercises. things like Pilates, one of the reasons why, yes, some people say they don't see significant weight loss, but other people find that they start doing Pilates and in conjunction with other things, the weight just falls off, is because your nervous system is being regulated by Pilates. And I'm not saying that Pilates is easy by calling it low impact. I mean, it's not cardio, it's not strength training, it's exercising your body in a way that doesn't stress it out in the same way that cardio does. Sorry guys, my battery just died. But I don't even remember where I was. So things like Pilates will help to regulate your nervous system. Not that it's easy when I say it's low impact, but it doesn't get it's not as stressful on the system as something like cardio or very intense strength training. So low impact exercises like walking, and if you want to take the intensity up without overstressing the system, Pilates is a very good option. Yoga also regulates the nervous system very well. So anything that allows you to feel your body without overstimulating you is regulating to the body. Last thing that I want to bring up, because there are many, many different ways, this is in no way an exhaustive list. Herbs. There are herbs that regulate the nervous system. Number one on that list is something like ashwagandha. Ashwagandha really calms the system, really helps that system to calm down and to balance itself. Another thing is things like lavender, things like chamomile. Is it chamomile? Chamomile? Those herbs are calming your system down. Those herbs are bringing yourself out of this state of into. And so even before you go to bed, having some chamomile tea, having some valerian root tea, even though some people are like, oh, it doesn't make me sleep. Maybe it doesn't make you sleep, but it makes you have a better quality of sleep. That's what I've noticed with chamomile. It doesn't put me to sleep, but when I do go to sleep, when I wake up, I'm way more refreshed than if I didn't drink chamomile. So that's a sign of something shifting in my system, because a lot of times when my system is dysregulated, I'll wake up tired. You're waking up tired because your system is still shaking in energy. So chamomile, lavender, ashwagandha, and there's a whole list of other herbs. You can start to incorporate them into your everyday activities, whether it's drinking some of it before bed or taking ashwagandha in the morning. Those little things that don't disrupt your daily schedule. There's so many little things that you can start to do that will make a huge difference in your life. And so one of the main reasons why we are addressing this topic in the Goddess Project, a project to help you tune into your spiritual abilities, help you to tune and align yourself with your highest, most abundant timeline, helping you to unblock the body and really tune into your spiritual being, is if you are not okay in the physical realms, it will be very hard for you to hear and perceive into the spiritual realms. And so spirituality is not about shunning the physical world in favor of the spiritual realm. Spirituality is about balancing all aspects of your being and honoring all aspects of your multidimensional self. Because it is only through balance that you will find peace in your existence in this time you have on earth. So my loves, I hope you've learned something today. I hope you are leaving with some activities that you can start to incorporate into your life. If you are feeling called to, please always feel welcome to join us in the Goddess community, where we are putting all of these things together for you. You don't even have to worry about, oh, now I have to research what activities I need to do. How can I fit this in? Or what are the other activities? We put it all together for you in a daily practice. And this daily practice is outlined for you every week, activities that you can incorporate, questions for you to ask yourself for your shadow work, ways for you to incorporate working on your being, ways for you to incorporate unblocking your body and tuning your mind into the spiritual realms, ways for you to align your energetic being to the version of reality that you desire. And this week coming up, we have a live ceremony. Link is down below for you to join. And my loves, I will see you in our next episode.